Good afternoon, Lou. Welcome on VH Berries.
Thank you.
I am extremely grateful because the vocalization of your plain song is unclosing around a circular frame of pages turning in the wind. How are you doing today?
I'm doing amazing. Wow, that was really artful and beautiful. Thank you.
And in that disc-shaped ring, you're melting the opposite letters of the syllabary white span and setting the words in motion away from all of the faces of boredom.
I love that. I love that so much.
Absolutely, Lou, and the word boredom is directly connected with a recent singles of yours called Boring. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Of course. Boring is the most recent song I just put out, maybe like 3 weeks ago. And it is about the moral pull between knowing that, I should really want to be with someone who's like the good boy, the good, does everything right. But deep down, how sometimes I also want to be with the bad boy on the motorcycle. So that's kind of what Boring is about. It's about the moral tug of war in your head of like, well, I know this is what's good for me, but what if this is what I actually want? So yeah, it's like a fun, upbeat dance track, lighthearted. A lot of my music's very like emotionally heavy, so I wanted to put out a song that was just a little more fun. And I love it. I love to dance to it. It's a fun one.
You love to dance to that song called Boring, Lou, and this is an upbeat dance tune. And I am very curious about the first spark or moment that led you to write this song.
Yeah, good question. So all of the music I'm releasing right now, I wrote with this producer named Mike Robinson, who's very, very talented. Like I'm almost convinced he's an alien. That's how talented he is. And I think that was the second or third song we wrote together. And he just had this like really, really great beat going. And this was about a year ago. I don't really know what was going on in my personal life at the time, but we kind of just started talking about this theme of like bad boys versus good boys. And then someone threw out, oh, what if it's like bad boys do bad things, but good boys are boring? And I thought that was really funny. And then one thing led to another. And within an hour, we had the song.
Absolutely, Lou. You were working alongside Mike Robinson, Matt Huber, Sam Moises, and Nashville-based, God Manchester-born singer-songwriter Lydia Sutherland.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit more about working with those talents?
Yeah, 100%. What great intros. Mike is just, he's a legend. I don't know what else to say. He's a legend. Like, he just has this ability to produce pop music on a level that I hadn't really been around before. And, like when we leave the studio that day, it's just a day of demo. You don't expect it to be anything crazy or like perfect, but his day of demos just sound like records. They sound like something that you could mix master and put out right then and there. So I'm just a huge Mike Robinson fan. I think he's a genius. Not only is he a great producer, I think he has really great melody ideas. His brain is just amazing. And then that day, our third in the room was Lydia, and I love her, and she's so talented. And she was like really helpful that day with lyrical ideas. She's such a good lyricist. And I feel like that's really what helped pull the song together, is like there's a lot of specific details in that verse that I feel like came from her, and I was like, wait, yes, that's so cool. So yeah, it was just like a fun, lighthearted day in the studio. You know what I mean?
It was a very productive day in the studio, Lou. And the song, to come back to its storyline, is contrasting the bad boys and the good boys. And I truly believe that this piece of art is a 2.5 minutes rush of danger in which you are falling for the wrong person, the late night calls, and also the chaos you cannot resist.
You nailed it. That's exactly it. That's exactly what it's about.
It is about those 3 bullet points that I just mentioned. And in moments where everything can collapse, I believe that suddenly the bravest thing to do is not to run forward, but to ask someone to wait on me.
Wow, great segue.
Absolutely, Lou. This is a direct connection with a completely other song of yours that tackles a different theme. Can you tell us a little bit more about Wait on Me?
Of course. So Wait on Me is the first song I ever wrote with Mike Robinson. I'm just not going to stop talking about Mike Robinson. It was a while ago now, like a year or 2 years ago. And I remember we had a write with a third person in it, kind of like Lydia was our third that day. And everything, like I got everything wrong. Like the write was at noon. I showed up at 11. Then I felt bad. So I just like kind of sat there for an hour. And then our third never showed up, which was weird. So it was just Mike and I. And he was like, do you still want to write a song anyways? And of course I said yes. I love writing songs with just 2 people, like me and a producer. It's really fun for me. So I said yes, and that's how Wait on Me was born. And I remember walking out of a studio that day being like, we need to write more songs together. Like this just like unlocked this piece of my artistry that I've really just like been waiting so long to unlock. And he just kind of like did it in 4 hours. And I was like, wait, yes. So yeah, we wrote that day, and he kind of got that beat going, and then it was very melody based, because a lot of this newer stuff I've been putting out, it's very like melody and mathematical with the melodies. So we kind of got that first and then started adding lyrics. But one of my favorite parts of the song is there's this part in the chorus that goes, red light, green light, yeah. And I had this like chorus, but it was kind of like serious. And he was like, I don't know, it just seems like it needs something like kind of just like fun and stupid in there, kind of like red light, green light, yeah. And I was like, wait, exactly. So we put that in, and now it's one of my favorite parts of the song. But yeah, that's kind of about that day. And I love that song.
Absolutely, Lou. And as far as I'm concerned, tattoo shops around the United States are currently fully booked because people are lining up to get the chorus 1, 2, 3. I am waiting. Don't wait on me. On their arms, necks, and ankles.
You're too kind. You know what? Yeah, they are. You're right. You're right.
Absolutely, Lou. And that song called Wait on Me was released on July 25th. And it is the flip side of Boring with that vulnerable title. What does waiting mean to you personally in the context of that song?
That song more is about this very specific moment that I was out at this bar and this person just kept staring at me from across the bar. Not in a creepy way, but for like a long time. And it got to the point where I was like, oh my God, like just come over here. Like, what are you doing? Like either make a move or don't make a move, but don't keep it in this gray area. So that's kind of what that song is about, is it's like, are you really going to make me make the first move? Cause I will if I have to, but I don't really want to. So that's kind of what that song is about. It's very fun.
Absolutely, Lou, and I now better understand the idea behind that countdown in the chorus with that magnetic series of numbers pushing someone forward.
Wow. I love it.
And to some extent, Lou, through your foresight and common sense, we learn with your music that patience can be gained by drinking a gallon of water instead of a half pint of cotton candy soda.
Wow. So true. Honestly, so true. I always need to drink more water. So true.
This is very true, Lou, but no matter the liquid or drink, it is very important to always take a half pint of it for a very specific reason.
You know me too well. Very true. I bet you know why, too.
I would love to discuss about a project, an organization called Half-Pint Dynamite Records, in which you're distributing your art. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Of course. So I'm currently an independent artist, which means I'm running the show, baby. I'm the boss. I mean, I'm always the boss, but I pay for everything right now too. And when you do that, you know, you kind of need to make up your own record label name when you put out music, because you're not putting it out under a major or an indie label. So I named mine Half-Pint Dynamite Records because I used to be a theater kid. I did a lot of theater. And I think when I was 9 or 10, I played Molly in Annie, the show, and the show got written up in like a review. And the journalist described me at that age as being a half-pint dynamite. And so it kind of just stuck with me ever since. And now all my friends call me Half-Pint. Some call me Dynamite. And yeah, so that's that.
Absolutely, Lou. And I found out, as you already just mentioned, that a half pint could literally mean a half of a pint, or also could describe a small child making the previous version of yourself from 2008 very proud.
Oh, that's so nice. I'm gonna cry.
Moreover, Lou, through Half-Pint Dynamite Records, you're going to very soon release some other music, and more specifically, a new single on October 17 and a full EP project on November 14, as well as going on tour in a couple days, starting on September 28 at 8 p.m. Central Daylight Time at the Mohawk, Austin.
Yep, you got it perfect. All of that was exactly right. Look at you go.
I would love, Lou, to discuss about those upcoming releases as well as that tour. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Of course. So tour, I'm very excited for tour. I'm supporting my dear friend Marielle Craft on tour, and we get to go to 19 different cities, the majority of which, or at least half of which, I've never been to before. So I'm very excited to go to places like Colorado and Seattle and Portland that I've just never been to before. So very excited for that. I get to take my band with me to LA and on the East Coast, which there's such a badass band of all girls, and we just rock out and have the best time. So yeah, I'm super excited for tour. And then kind of while tour is happening, I'm releasing another song and then a project, and I won't give too much away about what's on the project, but me and Mike really cooked up in the kitchen on this one, and I'm just really excited. And again, it's the first time in my career I'm just kind of like being lighthearted for a second, because I'm usually a pretty intense person. I'm a Scorpio. I'm a deep thinker. So I kind of just wanted to like take a break and be like, what do I sound like if I'm just like having fun? Because I do like to do that every now and then too. So that's kind of what this project is all about. And I'm really excited. Yeah.
I can feel, Lou, in your voice that you're very excited about those upcoming 19 dates in those 19 cities. And I predict that the hand-painted dress shirt will be selling fast. Oh, it's already sold out.
It is sold out. I need to get more.
Absolutely, Lou. And let's have a look at the I Am a Good Kisser trucker hat. It's also sold out.
It is sold out, but only because I had to get them all out of the warehouse to bring with me on tour. So they're sitting right over there and behind me in a big box, ready to come with me on the road. So that's where those are.
We now know the exact location of those hats, and on the online boutique, the remaining items are the dead inside beanie that are perfect for the fall and the upcoming winter.
So true. You gotta keep your head warm, you know?
It is, Lou, very important to keep the head warm. And you are going to keep emptying the industrial gray tuck tape supply in the Boston suburbs, and in your own words, sponsored by Home Depot gift card and a dream. Can you tell us a little bit more about that visual concept?
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'll reveal it on this podcast, but that's kind of going to be the cover of my project, that photo, because I love it so much. Oops, secrets out. But gosh, so I took that photo with this incredibly talented photographer, Whitney Audie. She's the best. She lives out here in LA, and she, when we were getting ready to do that shoot, she connected me with her incredible friend who's a stylist, and her name is Kimberly Cunningham. Kimmy, I call her Kim. And we just sat down and like really talked about world building and what, I wanted this world to look like, and like everything that I've been attracted to since I was a kid, whether that's like textures or colors or like whatever it was, and tried to put it all together into one world. And so something we really fixated on was textures, like physical media that looks like it's like 3D, it's popping out, that you could touch it. So duct tape kind of gave us that tangible thing. And then just surrealism and things that you're like, that doesn't, like, is she on the ground? Is she on the wall? Like, why was a question we really wanted to provoke a lot. And so Kimmy had the wonderful and grand idea to put me in an outfit of duct tape. And so that's what we did. And it kind of looks like it gives the illusion that I'm taped to the wall, but I'm really on the floor. Shh, don't tell anyone. And she made this duct tape dress, like cropped top and skirt, so that to give it the illusion that I was like fully taped to the floor. And then I laid down and we put the duct tape on top of that and took that fantastic photo. But they're both so talented, such visionaries, and I just love it. I love world building and wearing weird things, and it's very fun for me.
As a matter of fact, Lou, the greater Boston area is currently mad because you took all the industrial grade duct tape supply that was available. But I just got the news that they are forgiving you as you are elevating the cultural scene of that landmark.
Let's go. I'm forgiven.
You're, Lou, forgiven by that city, and I would love to discuss about your journey that started around Boston with 2 siblings on your side.
Yeah, of course. Well, I'm from Boston originally, Massachusetts. I grew up there, like in the same house for 18 years. And my parents had my older brother. He's 5 years older than me. We're besties. We're homies. He's the best. His name is Greg. Shout out Greg, because I know Greg's probably going to watch this. And my parents, they wanted another kid, and then they got triplets, which now that I'm an adult, I think about that, and my brain actually breaks thinking about the logistics of that and how they did that. And now they're still together and very much in love. And that is just such a feat of awesomeness to me. So yeah, I'm a triplet, which is definitely a crazy, interesting, it's always like my fun fact. I have a built-in fun fact when anyone asks for one. But it was a very fun way to grow up. We were always kind of messing with each other, having a good time,
If I understood correctly, Lou, the logistic for taking care of 3 kids and a triplet is very difficult, but I believe that this is easier than building the universe brick by brick.
I don't know.
The universe is very difficult to build, and you're doing it in real time. And I would love to know more about the beginning as Molly, because you played in Annie, and a musical based on a comic strip called Little Orphan Annie. Can you tell us a little bit more about that off-Broadway show?
Yeah. So I played Annie many, many times. Well, it all actually started of me playing Molly, who is Annie's friend, and then it turned into me playing Annie, and I think I ended up playing Annie like 5 times. It was kind of the hallmark of my childhood. The last time being like I was probably a little too old at that point to be playing a 12-year-old. I think I was 13 or 14, but this sister theater to the company I had played it at North Shore Music Theater, and they had another sister theater in Rhode Island called Theater by the Sea, and last minute, something happened. They needed someone to step in and play the role, and so they called me, and with like 24 hours notice, I got up there, miraculously fit into all the costumes and the wigs, and I had worked with that company that they were using their dogs before, because obviously there's a dog in the show, so I knew all the hand signals. I knew like how they train the dogs, everything, and I stepped in, and I'll truly never forget it. I will never forget that night. I will never forget how much camaraderie there was with the cast, how everyone came together to help me, because I was like, what is going on? Like, I would be backstage halfway through the first act being like, do I come on from that side or that side? And someone would always help me because I was still learning the show. And I remember they went on before the show being like, they made an announcement and they said, listen, we had to have a last minute step in, and this is what's going to happen. And, it's going to be great. And somehow it went off without a hinge. I don't know how that happened, but it did. And I ended up doing the whole run for like a month, and it was one of the most fun months of my life. And I think that was a good way to kind of cap my Annie career, unless I ever end up in the show again as a different character in the future. But for now, my Annie career is over.
You ended up doing the entire tour, and your Annie career is now over. And in conclusion, I am looking forward, and I am rushing with enthusiasm, thinking about the imminent approach of the LEW record. And I am looking forward to hear what Mike Robinson is cooking in that drop-off zone where people need to remain in their headphones at all time to keep the Weintraub sync with no loitering allowed. Thank you very much, LEW.
Thank you so much. Thank you for all your kind remarks, Victor. And it was so artful and beautiful, and I'm just grateful to be here. So thank you.